now, and you're seeing kind of the edge of that storm. So this is making its way right now through central portions of Columbia. Folks, it is some heavy downpours, and we're starting to see some heavier winds associated with this system. Now, just now on the leading edge of the system, I would estimate winds 50 miles per hour, but folks, probably about 2 miles behind me, they're even stronger than that. So we're continuing to track the system right now, moving through Columbia. You're going to be taking a look right now. That's going to be Business Loop 70, looking back off to the east as we're continuing to see these heavy downpours rage right back through the area, and winds estimated 50 miles per hour. But folks, as this line continues to push east, I'm guessing it's going to continue to strengthen just like it is right now. Reporting live in Columbia, I'm ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Chance Couch. Pushing forward here. We're going to get right ahead with Not seeing any rotation with this system just yet. That's the good news, folks, but there is a decent amount of hail tied to this system as we continue to head east. Now, those downpours that we saw on the northern edge of the system as it made its way through Columbia were very hard, folks. If you don't have to drive and you're in Columbia or just east, just stay at home for now. It's very dangerous to be out there on the roads right now. The wind's pushing people back and forth, seeing a lot of semis having issues trying to fight this wind, and we're going to continue to track this system as it moves through. But there's going to be kind of the area we're going to be watching the most for right now. A little bit of lightning on the screen. It's going to be that little bit of cloud features there that you can see kind of broken up. That is going to be just east of Ashland that we're continuing to track for the potential for hail. But right now, we're heading off to the east on Highway 70 and the ABC 17 Storm Tracker 360. Reporting, I'm ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Jan Scotch.
Heading to the Optimist Club, I was just off of Cedar Creek Lane, and you could see deputies going house to house. They had their lights on, knocking on doors, trying to get people to come outside. Now, we were just hit with a short burst of rain, and that rain had a little. The newsbreaker here was getting peppered with hail. That lasted for about 2 minutes, but for a while it was getting kind of sketchy with the visibility not very good, especially off of Cedar Creek Lane. There's a lot of trees around there, and with the wind blowing, you're getting a lot of tree branches and leaves blowing into your path. We've also seen some families, there's a lot of agriculture out here too. So one family was just trying to move their horses to kind of get them in a trailer as they evacuated, and they were in the middle of the road trying to get them to go, and the horses were getting rained on. They didn't like that, so a lot of things to consider here, especially since this is such a sudden movement. Boone County Fire Protection within the last 10 or 15 minutes just issued an emergency warning, trying to get people to head to the Optimist Drive in Ashland, where they are encouraging people to seek shelter. We just saw a officer as well buzz by us with their lights on too as they're continuing these evacuation efforts. But anyone in that area encouraged to get out. As I mentioned, when we got hit with that short burst of rain earlier, conditions got very treacherous, especially on the roads, and I would suspect more is probably on the way. Reporting live in Hartsburg, Mitch Kaminsky, ABC 17 News.
is now Doolittle by around 7:57. Again, this is a tornado warning that was just issued for southern Pulaski County as storms continue to work out of the Springfield area and work to the northeast. So I want to clear all of this off so we get a better picture of where this rotation is. We are on our Springfield radar now. We'll go out to the velocity. You'll see we have some broad rotation here within the Warren area, and this is still just outside of Pulaski County, but it's quickly moving to the north. Also have rotation that's being reported here just off to the south of that cell. So two areas that I'm distinctly watching. Also, if we go back up to the north, I don't think we have any additional tornado warnings at this point, but I've also been watching rotation here in part of Callaway County. That's been a little bit weaker, but I do want to take a close look at that. You're seeing that now just off to the north and east of Holt Summit. So this is going to also continue to be tracking across Callaway County at around the same speed. So around 60 to 65 miles per hour. That's just south of Fulton. It looks like if that holds its strength, if we do see any tornadic threat there, it would stay south of Fulton, but potentially cross I-70. If we go back to the south, I want to go back and look at our storm that's just south of Waynesville. Even our radar picking up here, these two little columns, they show you where it kind of pinpoints that rotation. We're going to look at a couple of different products here that'll give us a better idea of the threat. So I want to take a look at those. In fact, I'm going to step off so I can take those columns off. It'll show you where we have more of that rotation currently. So just give me a second here. We'll go ahead and turn those off. But again, we are interrupting programming right now for the potential of a tornado. We have a tornado warning that's in effect for southern Pulaski County, and that goes until 7:45. So you're seeing a couple of different colors on the map here. This is showing where we have radar indicated rotation. I just clicked on that yellow area. That's where we are seeing up to 100-mile-per-hour winds is what our radar is indicating. Potentially seeing a little bit more rotation back up here. I'll circle it for you. This is just to the west of Waynesville. So we have a couple of areas. Back out to the south, another one that's south of our current one that we are keeping an eye on. So potentially 3 spots. And just for fun, we'll go back up here and look at this Callaway County cell here too. So the purple is indicating where we have up to quarter-size hail, possibly seeing some rotation there just off to the east of Holt Summit. No tornado warning on that one right now, but certainly severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Let's go back out to the radar. You'll kind of see that curling effect here. I'll step back onto our weather wall so you can kind of get a better picture of what we're seeing. We've been tracking these cells that have been moving in from the south, and this is where we have a little bit more energy and moisture to work with. So at this point, our tornado threat is increasing for southern and eastern portions of mid-Missouri. So those in St. Louis still in the clear for now, but it won't take very long before these storms start to work their way east. So we have a whole line, a train of storms that is working its way in. Severe thunderstorm warnings all the way from south of Springfield up towards Rolla. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Phelps County until 8:15. That was just issued for these cells that continue to work in from the southwest. So we still have this current tornado warning that's in effect until 7:45. That's coming out of Laclede County. Also seeing some indications where we have some larger hail too here in this black area on radar. That's indicating where the hail core is. That's just off to the south and west of Fort Leonard Wood. So we'll go ahead and track these again for you. We'll zoom back out and get a better picture of where these warnings are currently. We have this tornado warning that's in effect until 7:45 for southern Pulaski County. This is going to be riding right up along I-44. And we have our team of meteorologists has been in all day tracking this system. We've got ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist John Ross with us this evening. Thanks for joining us after your morning, John.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye on these storms. I just wanted to ask you if we're seeing any reports from the National Weather Service currently.
Yeah, reports from the National Weather Service on this storm in Springfield, the tornado warning that we are tracking as we look to Pulaski County. It's currently, well, in Laclede on its way to Pulaski. Is that the storm we're asking about?
Yes.
Okay, so this one at the moment, I'm not looking at any recent updates more than I think that what we've already got. We've had, let's see, nearby. Yeah, that's all we've got at this point. But one thing I want to note is the hail with this, up to 2.5 inches.
Oh, wow. So that would be at least
A lot of
greater than golf ball size.
Yeah, very large hail. And I can get that graphic
Tennis
here in
ball
just a
size.
second and maybe see if we can use that as a comparison.
Yeah, here's our track. So this is the updated track as this moves up to around 55 to 60 miles per hour. This is going to be a approaching Fort Leonard Wood in the next 15 to 20 minutes. So 7:34, still looking at around 7:53 for Doolittle. I've got it on the rotation here. We've got this for Rolla at 7:58. I want to take a look back. We're going to zoom out just a little bit and keep an eye on some of the storms that we have off to the north. Looks like we just got a new tornado warning that was issued for portions of Callaway County and for Montgomery County. So this was just issued within the last minute or so. It goes until 8 o'clock. So I want to go back out to our St. Louis radar now. We're going to take a look at this storm and track it for you. So go back out to the radar, go right to the rotation there. It's south of Fulton. Fulton, you're getting some very heavy rainfall currently. The rotation is south of there. So this is going to be tracking out of the Highway 54 corridor, the eastern sections of Callaway County. You'll kind of see where that storm starts to curve. That's where we have the rotation currently. We'll go out to our velocity from St. Louis. You'll see the rotation is right here. We'll get as close as we can, just north of Hams Prairie, south of State Route O. So this is going to be tracking northeast up towards Toledo. Not going to be impacting Fulton, but if you are in Fulton hearing sirens, you are in the tornado warning currently. So tornado warning is in effect currently until 8 o'clock for Fulton, or for Callaway County. That does include Fulton, New Bloomfield, Holt Summit, Jefferson City out of this warning. The threat is now off to the north and east. If you are in portions of Montgomery County up towards Wellsville, just to the east of Avaz, New Florence, Montgomery City, you are in a tornado warning. So this is a threat for potential tornado. We have a radar indicated rotation now starting to look a little bit healthier. I want to go back out to our wind shear so I can kind of pinpoint that for you. It is south of Fulton. We'll get as close as possible north of the Missouri River and north of Chamois. So it's between about Hams Prairie and Reform. So this will continue to impact areas across eastern and southern Callaway County, and then eventually back up towards Montgomery City and Wellsville. So I want to do what I did with that Pulaski County storm. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the area of rotation and take the track from there. So I might need to zoom out just a little bit so we get a good look at that speed as this moves to the north and east at around 60 miles per hour. So that'll take our track from here up to northern Montgomery County. So that'll put that in potentially in Montgomery City by around 7:47, New Florence at 7:48, Wellsville 7:49, and that's from this radar indicated rotation. Now I want to go back out to ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist John Ross, who's tracking the reports coming in. Are you seeing anything from St. Louis currently?
From St. Louis,
not
cell? Yet. On the Montgomery County, or the Callaway and Montgomery County warning, not yet. They are, of course, concerned with the circulation. It appears radar indicated. Have we heard anything from Chance yet on this? I know we've got him out on...
I have not heard anything from directors yet,
okay.
Or anything from the newsroom currently. I would imagine he's close. We're working on it. Sounds like we're trying to get Chance up and see where he's at. This storm, we currently have a tornado warning if you're just joining us for portions of Callaway County and northern Montgomery. We want to go out to ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Chance Gotch. He's been tracking the storms for us all night. We want to see where you're at and what you're seeing. Of course, staying safe as these storms roll through. Chance, where are you?
Yeah, Jessica, we're currently on Highway 70 heading back to the west. We just went to New Florence and we're curving our way a little bit closer to where we guess this rotation is going to be passing as it gets closer to Highway 70. So that is going to be mile marker 169 on Highway 70 heading back west if anybody has any questions on where we're at. So looking into this dark space in front of us, the one thing I want you to pay attention to, we're seeing a lot more lightning on this system. You're kind of seeing that at the bottom of your screen there. Winds out ahead of the system close to about 30 miles per hour, but we're continuing to see it darkening in this area and we're seeing more lightning on the system. But we're going to be kind of just east of where this rotation is going to be expected to pass here in the next 5 to 10 minutes as we get a little bit closer. So we're going to continue to keep you guys up to date, and we'll go ahead and have you guys pitch it back to us whenever we get closer to this system as it's going to be looking to make its way through portions of east of Fulton, getting close to Highway 70. You're seeing all that lightning there, folks. That means this thing has plenty of energy to go ahead and fire up. That rotation going to continue to happen. Now, in the past, we actually saw some reports as it made its way through southeastern portions of Callaway County where there was some spotted rotations by some fire departments. So this does have confirmed rotation on it, not a confirmed tornado at this time, but treat it like it is such because we're seeing a lot of energy associated with the system and still continuing to see those velocities spinning on the system. So we're continuing to head back off to the west on Highway 70, getting a little bit closer to Williamsburg. We're going to be about 3 miles east of Williamsburg whenever we kind of plan our routes before this thing safely passes in front of us. But folks, a lot of lightning on this system and winds out in front of the system, even strong, close to about 30 to 40 miles per hour. But for now, reporting live on Highway 70, I'm going to go ahead and throw things back to you guys, and we'll continue to give you guys updates both on the ground and even in studio.
Thank you, Chance. I'm taking a look at radar right now, and as you signed off here, it looks like we're seeing a little bit of a downgrade on the rotation. So the latest scan showing slightly weaker rotation. It's still there for sure, but it has weakened just a little bit in the cell that we're continuing to track out of Callaway County. So we still have a tornado warning that's in effect for portions of Callaway and Montgomery counties. That's until 8 o'clock tonight. These storms are barreling quickly to the east at around 60 to 65 miles per hour. Also have another storm I want to look at. This one's coming out of the Springfield area up towards Pulaski County. So that means we need to go over to our Springfield radar. This is moving into Pulaski County now. South of Waynesville is where we have some very heavy rainfall and possibly some large hail. I am seeing a better signature for rotation there. South of Fort Leonard Wood, I'll circle it here, and then I'm going to step back on the wall so we can track these. But this is getting very close here. Let me take this off so we can get a look at the roads there. Clear that for you. This is now approaching the county line. So it is moving up north of Highway 17 now. It's moving through Cookeville. If you're in Cookeville, Palace, Evening Shade, up towards Big Piney, Fort Leonard Wood, you want to be in your safe place now. That means anywhere in an interior room, away from windows on the first floor of your home. Also basements, great bathroom, closet. Anywhere away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. I want to put a track on this right where the rotation is. Again, this is tracking at around 55 to 60 miles per hour. So that's going to put Rolla in the path. Fort Leonard Wood still around 735, and we're looking at around 753 for Doolittle, and for Rolla 758 if this continues on its current track. And this is for radar indicated rotation, that tornado warning in effect until 7:45 for southern Pulaski County. This is tracking right along I-44, and this looks like it has a little bit better rotation than what I'm seeing north, which makes sense. We have a little less moisture to work with up here. It's something we've been tracking all day. The dew points are under around 50 degrees here up into mid-Missouri, and that's where we have a little bit lower tornado threat, but we're still seeing that rotation. Let's switch back over to the radar to get a better look at that cell that continues to work through Callaway County. It's now coming through Fulton with some very heavy rainfall, possibly up to quarter-size hail. We'll get into the city of Fulton where the tornado threat is much lower, but we still have some very heavy rainfalls coming through the core of Fulton currently. So right along Highway 54 in Callaway County is getting some very heavy rainfall. I do want to back out a little bit, and we'll go back out to where we're seeing some of that rotation. Again, with the last scan, it looks like it has weakened just a little bit, which is good news, but still some very strong winds there. Here's where the rotation is. Just to the north of Toledo. It looks like we're still getting somewhat of a signature here. That is right along County Road 123 and 173. Looks like we just got a new update. So now this is moving up towards Yucatan, getting closer to the county line with Montgomery County. Still have some rotation there, broad, but still there, some strong winds. We can actually sample how strong those winds are currently. So as it moves out of Callaway County, we're going to be looking at that potential for some strong winds along with the tornado threat. So that would looks like, let me see if I can grab that on our toolbar here to take a look at that. Potentially seeing winds along that leading edge up to at least 60 miles per hour. Getting closer back towards Fulton, winds anywhere from 45 to 55 miles per hour. So watching that rotation as this continues to work its way to the northeast. I want to back out. We're going to clear this off and take a look at the overall picture of this storm and get a heads up if you are in Montgomery County. I want to go back out to ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist John Ross, who is keeping an eye on these reports for us. What do you have?
Yeah, well, good news from the National Weather Service, which is that there's a weakening trend on this storm going forward. The National Weather Service in St. Louis mentioning they're going to keep the tornado warning on it for now, but things are looking good with this cell. Given the environment, we're going to stick with it. Again, the environment that it's in, still supportive of tornadoes, especially as we see these moving eastward. But so far the trends have been very, very solid. And I know we've kind of seen that with that shape. We're kind of losing some of that interesting classic tornado textbook shape.
Yeah, when this thing
this.
first popped up, it definitely caught my eye. It had more of that curlicue looking where we had the inflow, and now it's kind of weakened a little bit as far as the rotation goes, but still a powerful storm with strong winds. This is going to be moving in very closely, at least in the next couple of minutes, to Montgomery County, arriving in Wellsville in the next 15 minutes. So this arrives at 7:45, Montgomery City 7:50, New Florence 7:56, and Clarksville by around 8:35, out of our area up towards Pleasant Hill by around 8:39. So our tornado warning is going to continue for the next half an hour for Callaway and Montgomery County. So we'll clear this off for you just to get another look at that cell that's off to the south. So we have 2 active tornado warnings. This one's in effect until 8 o'clock. We'll head back down to the south, seeing a tornado warning that's in effect for southern Pulaski County. That will continue until 7:45. That storm now working its way closer to the I-44 corridor. I do want to switch back over to our Springfield radar to give us a clearer picture of that. You can see where that inflow is into that storm, like pulling in most of that warm, moist air, allowing these storms to thrive. So that tornado warning is going to continue for the next 15 minutes. We can look back at the velocity on this one. It still looks like we have a healthy area of rotation there just to the south of Fort Leonard Wood, and this is going to continue tracking to the northeast. So Big Piney under that rotation currently. You should be in your safe place. And again, that's on the first level of your home, away from windows. And if you have a basement or a cellar, that's even better in these types of situations. But just be away from windows on the first floor of your home, and we'll get through this storm as this continues to track to the north and east. So that's south of Fort Leonard Wood, south of Waynesville. It's going to continue tracking into Phelps County. So we'll watch that one. Also have an area of rotation that's back off to the south and west of there. So I do want to track that rotation now as it moves closer to the southern border of Phelps County as this works its way onto the north and east at around 60 miles per hour. Here's the new track for Doolittle around 7:51. Still looking at around 7:56 for Rolla, and that's for this tornado warned rotation. So far, we have not seen too many reports of specific damage to these 2 tornado warnings, but of course, we've been seeing wind damage reports all day, and that's from the surface wind gusts that we've been seeing ahead of the storms this afternoon, causing wildfires across mid-Missouri, and just been a very active weather day overall. Let's go back north, and I do want to go back to the radar and just give you a bigger picture. Here in yellow behind the radar, we have a tornado watch. That's in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. It's for the threat of ongoing storms. So we have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that are still in effect, and that includes portions of Marys County. That goes until 8 o'clock, as well as Phelps County. Also for 8 o'clock for these cells that continue to work their way east. We want to go back out to, while we're tracking these storms, ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Chance Gotch, who's been watching these storms all afternoon from the ABC 17 Storm Tracker 360. Want to get a picture of where you are now, Chance. Whoa. That looks ominous.
Yeah, Jessica, we're currently on Highway 70. Yeah, definitely very ominous. A ton of lightning for this system. This is going to be where the original rotation was actually warned just to the southwest of here for that cell. We're going to be at the Williamsburg exit. That's what you're looking at, looking back west right there. That is something we're continuing to track. But look at this lightning. I mean, that's something that's been very impressive. Probably in the last 5 minutes, we've seen it really jump up even more. So we're continuing to look at this right now. Not seeing too much in terms of wind right now, but a ton of lightning with this system. Not seeing any lowering currently. It's a lot easier on the camera to actually look at it and kind of understand what we're seeing than what we're seeing actually visually, just because it's kind of hard to really make it out. It's a lot darker. This camera is definitely helping us out here, but look at all that lightning associated with that system as it's continuing to pull off to the northeast. So we're going to continue to kind of keep this thing updated, and as it makes its way back over us, I'll go ahead and give you guys any updates on terms of winds, because it looks like there's some good straight line winds kind of associated with this leading edge of this cell as it continues to make its way off to the east. But right now, reporting live in Williamsburg on Highway 70, I'm ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Chance Gotch.
Thanks, Chance. We're getting some new information in here from the National Weather Service. We have a radar-confirmed tornado. This is moving into Phelps County. This is for Phelps County. This goes until 8:15. It's moving out of Pulaski. So it's this storm that we've been tracking for the last 15 to 20 minutes now. Here in purple flashing, that just means this is a radar-confirmed tornado moving out of the Fort Leonard Wood area, just south of Fort Leonard Wood. Now we'll take a closer look. Let's go out to the velocity. I want to show you, this is really intensified here in the last scan, potentially seeing a tornado. This is a radar-confirmed tornado south of Fort Leonard Wood. This is now going to be tracking out of Big Piney up towards Duke, Flat, and eventually Rolla. So Rolla, you are in the path of this radar confirmed tornado. So I want to back out. We're going to put an exact track of where this rotation is and put it up right along I-44. So again, this is a serious situation with this tornado warning now becoming radar confirmed. So we'll put this right on the area of rotation, track it up to the north and east around 55 miles per hour. We're going to do a double check of that speed while we take a look at this. Yeah, this is moving northeast around 60 miles per hour. In addition to this tornado threat, we also have the potential of seeing up to tennis ball size hail. So very strong storm here. This supercell is tracking northeast up into Phelps County. So this warning continues until 8:15. It's going to arrive in Doolittle by 7:54. So you have about 20 minutes to get to your safe place. Might be a good idea to bring maybe a pair of shoes, a helmet with you if you don't have that in your safe place, just in case there were to be broken glass or broken tree limbs after the storm passes. This is going to arrive in Rolla by around 7:59. This rotation just continues to look a little bit healthier. It's now very, very close just to the south of Fort Leonard Wood. So we're going to be looking at reports coming out of there. Fort Leonard Wood still in the tornado warning. This goes until 8:15. So if we take this off, I want to clear some things here so we can get a close look at where this is. So that rotation now passing near Spring Creek. It's going to be crossing here State Route. That looks like State Route J in Phelps County. So this is going to be moving out of Pulaski into Phelps County. We'll back out just a little bit so we can get a picture of this. Waynesville, not in this tornado warning. Rolla is. Again, this is a radar confirmed tornado warning until 8:15. You can really see those strong winds, the green going towards the radar, the red away. We have that rotational couplet there that's going to be working out of the Fort Leonard Wood area, quickly racing up towards Rolla. So a radar confirmed tornado in effect for southern Pulaski and Phelps County. That's why we continue to stay on the air tonight. If we go back up to the north, we're going to go back up to our tornado warning that's in effect for portions of Callaway and Montgomery counties. We'll go over to our velocity from the St. Louis radar. This is going to give us a clearer picture. It does not look like we have that close rotation. Still some very strong winds, though, that's going to be approaching Montgomery City. So that's always a good sign to see. We don't have what looks like that rotational couplet there to indicate a tornadic threat. However, that doesn't mean there wouldn't be any wind damage. We could still see some strong winds moving out of Callaway into portions of Montgomery County. Now our radar indicating some of those stronger winds going to be working their way off to the north and east. I'll track that now. We're going to look right at the leading edge of those strong winds as this moves northeast around 55 to 60 miles per hour as well. It's going to be working its way out of mid-Missouri. This looks like it's going to be approaching Wellsville by around 7:42 with strong winds and possibly some small hail. Montgomery City at 7:46. And then out of our area up towards Louisiana by around 8:19. So I want to clear that off. We're going to take another look and another track of this tornado warned storm, this radar confirmed tornado that's coming out of the Springfield area, out of Pulaski County into Phelps County. So this is the most prolific storm that we currently have. We're going to be watching this intense storm work its way up I-44. We're going to look back at our velocity. I want to see that rotation again. Still pretty healthy there. Now working its way east of Fort Leonard Wood. This is going to continue tracking through southern Phelps County. So we're going to watch that very closely. We want to go back out to ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Chance Gotch, who's been tracking the storms for us tonight. You're not as far south as this one. You're showing us what we're seeing up towards Callaway and Montgomery counties, right?
Yeah, Jessica, we're currently in the path. I don't know if you guys can hear me well. We got hail. We have very strong winds. I would suggest these winds are closer to 70 miles per hour as this thing barrels through us right now. On this post right here to the right where it says one way, we had a stop sign that got completely knocked off and flew by the car. That is how strong these winds are, folks. If you're going to be in this cell, although we're not seeing as much rotation, these winds alone, straight line, are close to 70 miles per hour. I mean, you can see the waves of water coming right over the roads as it continues to make its way through the region here. Once again, we're in Williamsburg exit, so we're in Highway 70. We're getting hail hitting us right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera the opposite way, folks. That way, we're not going to be risking any damage to our actual camera. But, folks, there's the MoDOT shop. If anybody is familiar with this, this is going to be Route YY and B. We are seeing strong winds close to 70 miles per hour, and we are seeing this heavy downpour starting to storm through its way. Now, I think we've been through the thickest part of these winds, but I mean, right now, even to this point, I would suggest we're close to 60 miles per hour from what I could see from some trees back off to the north of Highway 70. The worst of it, probably passing Williamsburg in the next 5 minutes. Things are already starting to taper off just a tad bit, but some heavy winds still associated with that warrant storm that is making its way right now through portions of Montgomery County. So Montgomery City, next up, you're gonna have some strong winds. Good idea to get away from those windows, as we're seeing a lot of signs on the side roads being blown off. Not the only time we've seen that today, but we're gonna go ahead and send things back to you, Jessica. Just some crazy visuals on some of these stronger winds. Right now, reporting live in Williamsburg, I'm ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Chance Gotch.
Pretty powerful storms out there, even as the tornado threat starts to wane a little bit in Callaway County. As Chance mentioned, you saw a sign flow by. So we're tracking very strong winds. In fact, with that storm he's on currently, we saw wind gusts of up to 74 miles per hour out of the Jefferson City Airport. So very strong winds, regardless of any tornado threat at this point. I've been kind of watching some of the reports coming in from the Springfield area. I'm not seeing anything specific just yet on our radar confirmed tornado. I'm getting some reports out of Webster County though. This is not in our viewing area, but it's with the same line of storms that's moving through. I'm seeing some reports of injuries there in Webster County with structures down, getting some pictures in. So nothing in from Phelps or Pulaski currently, but it's from those same storms. So we want to take these seriously as these storms roll through. We're going to keep it on the radar here. I'm going to show you the path of that radar indicated rotation, that radar confirmed tornado. Let's clear that off. It still looks very healthy as it continues to work through. Storm relative velocity just showing us the greens and the reds looking very bright there, indicating where we have strong rotation. So I do want to put a track on this as it works up closer to Rolla. This is moving northeast at around 60 miles per hour. So Rolla, you're going to see this moving in at around 60 miles per hour. I wanted to show you some of the things you can have in your safe place if you're getting ready to go there. Make sure you have your cell phone charged up. You might want to have a pair of shoes, a helmet, and any special medications that you might need in the next couple of days in your shelter. So have all of those materials. Make sure you're getting to your safe place if you're in this radar confirmed tornado warning. It does include portions of southern Phelps. It does look like the rotation is now moving out of Pulaski County. So I would say if you're in Fort Leonard Wood, Waynesville, you are not in the tornado warning, but Fort Leonard Wood, you are in the clear from this rotation. It's approaching Newburgh now, getting a little closer to Newburgh. If we take a closer look, it's moving right over Spring Creek, Flat, Yancey Mills. You're in the path of this. It's going to be moving in the next couple of minutes. If you're in Rolla, you have about a 15-minute lead time. Newburgh, probably less than that, around 5 to 10 minutes. So this, again, is a radar-confirmed tornado warning that's in effect until 8:15 and includes portions of southern Phelps County into at least central Phelps County, right along I-44. So torrential rains, as Chance has been showing us. While I'm over here, let's take a look at some of these rainfall rates. I might be able to do that here with our Springfield radar. Yeah, I want to show you the pinks in here. That's showing where we have our radars indicating 7-inch per hour rainfall rates. That's pretty wild, and you could really tell from Chance's shot up there in Callaway County. In fact, we'll go up and swap radars here. I have to do this over here just because looking at some of our products, but look at that very heavy rainfall that Chance is in right now just off of I-70. The heaviest rain is to the south and east of Avaz. It's up towards Wellsville, potentially 5-inch per hour rainfall rates. So extremely heavy rain, very strong wind gusts with these storms that continue to move through. Let's go back out to our ABC 17 Storm Track Doppler radar. Still looks like our Callaway County storm is starting to lose some of that rotation. I'm still getting some hints of possibly some hail. Let's look at that. Maybe up to pea size, penny size. So that's going down, which is always good to see. When the hail core comes down, that also means the storm is weakening a little bit. And we're still seeing some strong winds, but that's always encouraging to see. I want to look at the radar rotation there. I'm not seeing anything too concerning at this point. Just some strong winds now approaching Wellsville and Montgomery City. So our tornado warning continues for eastern Callaway and northern Montgomery County. That goes until 8 o'clock. Trying to see if we got any more reports from...
Looks like it's Springfield. We've gone back to radar indicated.
Okay, that's good. I'm just seeing these injury reports, but that looks like that's coming out of Webster County, which is not in mid-Missouri.
Right.
Some interesting pictures, though. Not looking good in some of those areas near Springfield.
No.
So currently, let's see, just catching up here. We still have our tornado warning there. Go back down.
Yeah, so now we have a mess of boxes. They're in Phelps and Pulaski. We've got purple, red. We've got 2 red boxes and 1 purple box, but it's that newest small red box. It's our tornado warning. It's effectively the same spot now as the as what was the purple box. The purple box essentially means confirmed.
Ooh, that scan went down, so that's good.
Yeah, the scans are going down. The National Weather Service mentioning lack of a debris ball with this anymore, and that's, we were trying to behind the scenes here, because it was listed as an observed tornado, but also tagged as radar confirmed, which led us to think that, okay, well, maybe we're seeing a debris ball, and I believe that's the case now, but not anymore. That is no longer the case, so they're going back to standard tornado warning, radar indicated. Still could very well be a tornado. We don't want to play this down and tell you there's no tornado. There's certainly a tornado warning, but as far as things that we could cling on to as far as hope goes, that's something for you if you're watching from Rolla. At least some good news there.
Yeah, and it still looks like we have, this is our healthiest signature at this point, so that just means that's where we're seeing the best rotation. Up in Callaway County and Montgomery County, it looks less of like a tornado signature, and you mentioned earlier the Weather Service will probably just let that warning go and potentially watch it for any severe thunderstorm potential. So less of a threat farther north, but still really powerful storms, as you saw in Chance live shot there. We're seeing very heavy rain and strong winds no matter what with all of these storms. Still a confirmed, or at least a tornado warning there. We have a tornado warning that's in effect for Phelps County until 8:15. So we're still looking at about 10 minutes from now from this rotation. At least the front rotation will be approaching Rolla within the next 10 minutes around 7:55. If this holds together, it could ride along I-44 up towards Owensville by around 8:30 or so. So very closely watching this parade of severe thunderstorms that's off to our south. So let's go back out just to our regular radar. I want to clear off our timing box here so we can watch what's off to the southwest. Still watching some very strong storms, even severe thunderstorms off to the south of there. And these will continue working their way up to the northeast too in places that have not yet been touched by storms. So just running into a better environment. The more discreet these are, the better chance they'll have of producing a tornado. So I don't think we are out of the woods just yet. Here in the next hour or so, we should start to see some better improvement here as far as our storm coverage goes. We still have our tornado warning that's in effect for northern Montgomery. I can safely say that Callaway County is out of that threat now. So if you're in Callaway County, the tornado threat has passed, which is good news. Still watching this severe thunderstorm though as it gets closer to Wellsville. It's moving in now with some strong winds closer to Montgomery City. This is going to be moving in the next couple of minutes. The whole thing moving to the northeast at around 60 miles per hour. So these storms are really trucking tonight. In fact, we'll take a look at our ABC 17 Storm Track Future Track just to give you a picture of what's happening for the rest of tonight. This whole line continues to work its way east. This is the latest update. It's showing 8 o'clock. I do think it's still going to be in our eastern counties at 8 o'clock. Obviously, we still have some of those storms that are crossing out of the Highway 54 corridor, but by around 8:30, 9 o'clock, this is likely what the radar will look like with storms working their way east and northeast. However, potentially still holding on to a few storms near I-44 through about 9 o'clock. Here's what the picture looks like at 9. So things much improved for mid-Missouri, but getting a little worse out to our east. So St. Louis area is up next after us, and they're under just about the same or worse severe threat as they have not seen any thunderstorms today. Still have warm, moist conditions. So I want to clear this off. We'll go back out to our ABC 17 Storm Track Doppler radar. This will show us what we have going on for the rest of tonight. So we still have this strong storm that's working its way through Callaway and Montgomery counties. Still have a tornado warning there for the next 14 minutes. And then back off to the south, a little less organization on the storms coming out of Jefferson City, moving through Osage counties. In fact, we'll back out just a little bit and want to give you a picture of those as these also are going to continue working into a more moisture-rich environment off to the east. So these will be working their way northeast at around 60 miles per hour. Still getting some heavier rain in Fulton currently. Lynn, you'll see this next batch moving in the next 2 minutes by around 7:49. Wellsville, 8:12. Montgomery City seeing the next batch by around 8:14 and around 8:14 for Owensville. So that's this cluster now that's moving right along the Missouri River out of Jefferson City. Farther south, We have some heavier rain coming down in Vienna, right along Highway 63 in Marys County, and then off to the south is where we still have our current tornado warning. Again, if you're in Rolla, this is approaching in less than 10 minutes. I hope you're in your safe spot now. The radar indicated rotation continues to work in your direction. We'll take another look at that. If we go back out to our Springfield radar, here's our velocity. Still have a pretty good looking rotational signature. Now it's getting very close to Rolla. We'll take a close look. It is right over Newburgh, just to the south of Doolittle. So be in your safe place. That means anywhere in the interior of your home, on the first floor, away from windows, bathroom, a closet. Both great places to be if you don't have a basement. Just want to be away from the windows, away from that wind and potential flying debris. So this is a tornado warning that's in effect until 8:15. So another good 25 minutes or so. This is approaching the city of Rolla, and it will continue to bring some strong winds along with that tornado threat. Hail also looking like a threat. In fact, we'll go ahead and look at that again. This will single out our threats here. I can kind of query that and show you in this purple area. That's where we have the potential of seeing up to pea-size hail. Another storm off to the south of that, potentially bringing up to at least golf ball size hail, 2-inch hail with that one. So watching that as well. And then also have that threat of some rotation here in yellow. That's just off to the south of Rolla with up to 80-mile-per-hour winds. So very strong winds and that tornado threat working its way through Phelps County. So let's go back out to our radar. Actually, while we're on this with a little less clutter, let's go ahead and look at some of our warnings. We have still severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Marys and Phelps counties until 8 o'clock, and that also includes Gasconade County. That's in effect until 8:45 for a cluster of storms that's now working out of Osage. And then back out to the west, our severe threat is starting to diminish. Severe thunderstorm warning in Miller County for the next 10 minutes, and we have our tornado warning for northern Montgomery County until 8 o'clock. And again, the tornado threat is starting to diminish with that cell that's moving through Montgomery, but still the severe threat with strong winds and possibly up to quarter-size hail. So right now, my main concern is this storm that's moving through Phelps County, approaching Rolla. You've got about 5 minutes until this arrives. We're going to go back out to a radar just to look at the velocity again. This continues to give us, we continue to get some updates here. It still looks like we have pretty good radar indicated rotation there. Moving towards the city of Rolla, now just south of the highway. The rotation is now moving through Newburgh, and we're continuing to watch that getting closer to Rolla. So we'll take a look at our wind shear. You can see where the wind shear is the highest now, just to the southwest, quickly approaching the city within the next 5 minutes. So if you're in Phelps County, southern Phelps County, Rolla, along I-44, torrential rains and this threat of a tornado as the storm continues to work northeast. Very quickly moving storms. We're going to watch these as they continue to intensify, getting closer to St. Louis. Right now, up to the north, the threat for a tornado is getting a little bit lower up into Montgomery County. I want to check in now with ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist John Ross, who's in the studio with me tonight. What are you seeing as far as any new reports?
Well, we just got a report in from the National Weather Service in Springfield. The report was passed to us about 3 minutes ago, but from 7:30, a report came in. So now about 20 minutes ago from that storm that moved through Fort Leonard Wood there in Pulaski County. This is reports of tree damage. Now, right now it's being reported as thunderstorm wind damage, but with that report also came the comment possible tornado on the ground. So that's, again, part of this storm that we're talking about that's now near Rolla. Again, that was 20 minutes ago. These are moving fast. We talked about this morning. They'd move about 70 miles per hour, 60 to 70 miles per hour, and that's about what we're seeing. Let's go ahead and take links 2 real quick, if you don't mind. And I want to show you what we're talking about, because I know some of you who may be near Fort Leonard Wood right now still have that tornado warning maybe on your phone or on your NOAA radio. You are no longer in the latest warning. I don't know if this is going to be just let expire. I think that may be the case, but the newest warning now, the National Weather Service, and they made the comment that they were going to go away from this confirmed tornado warning in favor of just a radar indicated, and that's the red box that we've got highlighted on the screen here for you. You see this red and green, I'll circle it for you. This is the actual rotation, so it's getting closer to Rolla now, here at the kind of back end of this red box, this tornado warning. So this is radar indicated. It's because the National Weather Service is looking at this wind shear with this storm and seeing that there could be a little bit of rotation with this, and well, we've had a history of producing a tornado, and so again, this is not technically at the moment a confirmed tornado. That is what that purple box means, but the latest box that was issued, again, is this tornado warning that's radar indicated. Either way, what you need to know is that this is an important storm for you to pay attention to. If you're in Rolla, we want you in your safe space. You should be there. This storm's moving into town now. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. Let's get into the nitty-gritty here in Rolla. If you're on the east side of Rolla, again, just south of the main highway here, Martin Spring Outer Road, there just on the east side of town, as you're headed to Doolittle, that is roughly where this rotation is. So it's moving into the south and eastern part of Rolla as we speak. And again, this is very broad rotation. And remember that radar data is always going to be a few seconds delayed. So this may be moving into the southeastern part of Rolla as we speak. And again, at the speed it's traveling at about 60 miles per hour, it probably is. And we'll get another closer look at that as we zoom in here in just a few minutes. Let me put a track on this for you because again, if this does continue its path, we've not heard much from the National Weather Service. They plan on continuing this or not. It will probably come down to what this looks like as it gets to the end of the warning. They're probably talking about that as we speak. But let's draw this to the north and east at 60 miles per hour. Again, Rolla that's here now in the next couple of minutes, but really the center of rotation there is just about on your eastern edge of town, especially given the speed that this is traveling. And we look towards Owensville, closer to 827 there in southern Gasconade County. So Gasconade County, you're not in a tornado warning. I don't want to suggest that you are or will be, but this storm is headed in your direction, and if it keeps its strength and if it keeps its trend, it's something we'll have to discuss. So again, we just got the latest radar update. Let's go ahead and take a closer look now. We'll zoom in, and again, you can kind of tell where this rotation is. I'll go ahead and draw this on here again. The radar we're using is in Springfield, and so we're seeing greens towards the radar, and that's this section here on the north side of town. On the south side of town, we've got winds going away from the radar, so it's going in sort of this fashion, and so that's roughly the rotation that we're looking at. We can kind of double up and just kind of check our work here if we go back and take a look at the shear product, and yeah, that's about what we want to see. If we want to see rotation, we've got a little bit of red showing up, and that's indicating potentially at least isolated strong rotation. It's not an incredibly great shape that we're looking for a good solid rotation, but it is showing signs of some wind shear, and so that's what we're keeping a close eye on. Again, reminder: this is no longer confirmed or radar confirmed. It is a radar indicated tornado, and the difference there being the environment looks like it is supportive of producing a tornado. The storm looks like it could produce a tornado, but we no longer have eyes on a debris ball, and we no longer have eyes on a tornado itself. So that's going to leave it as radar indicated. Let's go up here to northern Montgomery County while we're at it and take a look at some of the shear we're seeing here, but we're going to have to go ahead and switch on over to another radar, and let's go to the St. Louis radar. This is the current tornado warning in effect for Montgomery County. Again, this is until 8 o'clock, so the next 5 minutes. If you're in Montgomery City over towards Bellflower, again, it looks like if we pull up.
Do you want to go over back to, there's a new warning. Callaway,
Yes.
Osage, and Montgomery. It looks like there might be a little rotation in that one too.
Okay.
Not a tornado warning, but it's starting to pop up a little. Last scan looked a little better than the current one. But.
Okay, good. Thank you for pointing that out. Let's see what we can work with here. Let's pull up our shear product. That'll kind of highlight what we're looking at.
It looked good in the last scan. Looks a little worse now, which is
Yeah.
worse as in good, meaning the threat is lower.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the tough part. When you're looking for something and you're trained to look for it, you get excited when you find it, only to remember that this is not what we want to find. But this is exactly what Jess is talking about. Let's circle it on the map. We are talking about this little shear marker in southern Callaway County. This is just north of Chamois. So on the other side of the river from Chamois, if you're familiar with Portland, we'll say County Road 448. Now this is an old data time slice, so let's move forward. You can see as it moves forward, just that one time slice, it falls apart. So this is nothing robust that we're looking at here in Callaway County, but it's something to certainly keep an eye on. Let's jump back to northern Montgomery County because this is where the tornado warning is in effect. Again, we were talking about better signatures for rotation with that storm to the south, but this one still has pretty strong signs of shear. It just doesn't look very incredibly organized. Let's go ahead and pull up Let's go ahead and pull up our wind direction.
Tornado warning if you want to show that.
Yeah,
I'm going to
let's
get it
do
out
that.
really quick.
Okay. Thank you
Get
for
that in the
posting that
news.
on social.
Yep.
So this is what we were talking about earlier. Okay, so we will jump down here because this does look like a more impactful storm. This does look like stronger rotation. So this is a new tornado warning until 8:15. So the time right now is 7:57. This entire warning only goes for another 15 to 20 minutes. That's how fast this is moving. So this is near Rolla. Again, we believe this is still radar indicated. No signs of this being a confirmed tornado. And that's, if we had any good news, that's the good news. But let's put a track on this. Jess is still moving about 60 miles per hour, probably.
I believe so. Let me switch over here.
For now, I think that's a safe bet. We'll put that there.
Pretty much what they've all been.
Yeah. So let's leave that there. So
Oh,
this
this
is
one's 70.
70 miles. Okay.
Tennis
Well,
ball size hail.
is that 70 mile per hour winds?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, moving northeast at 70 miles per hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very.
And that includes Marys,
That-
far southern, southeast Marys.
Southeast Marys. Okay, so we'll draw that to include folks there.
What's
That
going
makes
on? Is that another confirmed or is that the old one? I
That's-
guess that's an old one.
that
Yeah,
purple box is the
the
old one. Let me.
Okay, just check it.
Well, it's not moved. It's not moved in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not seeing any verbiage from the National Weather Service otherwise. So this is where we're at. We've got a new tornado warning if you're just joining us. And to kind of keep this all straight, we've got mainly two storms that are tornado warned at this point. The strongest one is the one we're talking about right now, and this is the newest warning. So this is going to be, and that clears up the map, Marys County and Phelps County. So Marys County and Phelps County, tornado warning until 8:15. Owensville, if this continues its path, you're the next place on the map here, but we'll go ahead and take a closer look because I know we have some smaller communities that aren't showing up on the map, but Owensville, if this carries in your direction, it would be about 8:23 for arrival time in your neighborhood. But let's take
Sounds like, and then the booth, they've got a look at Rolla, a MoDOT cam, if we want to take that.
Yeah, let's take that.
If we have the chance to take that at some point.
Yeah, real quick, this is Flag Spring, Schindler, and Boys Town of Missouri. These are the communities right along I-44 that are going to be impacted by this. So again, bedroom communities here of Rolla, again, just outside of Rolla, Flag Spring, Schindler, and Boys Town of Missouri. You see those shear markers getting closer to you. That rotation is moving into your neck of the woods. This is a live view of Rolla.
That wind.
That wind, you can see it. We're having technical issues with MoDOT cameras, and I think the wind may be contributing to that.
I would not be shocked. Watching for any power flashes there. It's hard to tell with it rebooting, but it almost looks like a hurricane just with how much water and wind there is.
And you know, that's a good point. Let's go back to radar because this is a lot of rain and possibly some hail as well. Can we get to this? Let's see what we have in terms of severe threats. Potentially some decent hail. We're going to pixel query this just really quick. Maybe 1 inch hail. So that's you know, if that is verifying, that's a severe thunderstorm at the very least. This is potential for some damaging wind, but also the reason we are talking about this right now is because of the rotation. It's still near Rolla.
Looks like they just went confirmed again.
Okay, yeah, I see that. You see it switched to purple, confirmed. Let's see, what is the verbiage here from the National Weather Service? Do we have a report?
Let me look really quick. Let's see.
Or if
Go
you're-
over to.
If you're posting, I can
That's all right.
switch on over here.
I haven't seen anything. Oh, fire department reporting tornado on the ground in southeast Rolla.
Southeast Rolla. Okay, so let's go back to rotation. Let's get back into the nitty gritty here. Let's see, we still want St. Louis radar, I think, with this. Yeah, back to the MoDOT camera in Rolla. Do you know where this is in Rolla? Can you tell us, producers, where roughly?
Looks like 63 north,
60,
Kings Highway.
Highway 63 and Kings Highway. Okay, and we said the tornado was reported in southeast Rolla?
Yes.
63 and Kings Highway. Someone help me out here. Where is... Okay, so that's... Okay, that's where the camera is. We'll focus on where the rotation is now. We'll go forward. Okay, so the rotation that we're tracking, likely in this vicinity, we'll go ahead and just give you a rough idea of where that is. Somewhere here is where we're tracking that rotation. we look closely, again, now this is going to be north of Dillon and the northeastern half of Rolla and the general regions surrounding. So this rotation is about over State Route V there on the northeast side of Rolla. State Route V north of Favre Road. I believe that's the correct pronunciation. I apologize if it's not. Craig Road, so they're near Craig Road and Highway 68. If you know where that is, Highway 68 north of I-44. This is about to cross over in your neck of the woods. And let's get that circle off here. It's where these reds are conjoining with these greens. Let's see what we have in terms of.
Looks like I'm getting a report of Rolla police saying there's a roof off a house. There's no location.
No location.
But that's in Rolla.
All right. Maybe that's not showing us anything helpful.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Back here, velocity, storm relative velocity. I think it's about here. Is that right? Where do you think this is, Jess? Exactly.
The rotation, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
right
forward
there.
a frame, somewhere here, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that
that's
looks like a good signature.
Yeah. Let's see what a shear look like. Shear's kind of messy. Let's go back to velocity. Storm relative, that's going to be the best. Okay, so Flag Spring, this is near you. Again, if you're in Phelps County, central to northern and eastern Phelps County, we want you to be in your safe place. We have a tornado confirmed on the ground. That's what this flashing purple box means. We've had a member of the fire department see this tornado in southeastern Rolla. So we've had credible reports of people actually putting their eyes on this tornado. This is no longer a hypothetical. This is no longer this storm could produce this. This is a tornado on the ground, and we've had reports of damage. So this is moving to the north and east of Rolla. This is about to the corner of Mary's. As we mentioned earlier, this looked like it was going to clip Marys, and this is the northeastern corner of Marys County and Pulaski County. So, the southeastern corner of Marys County, and then northeastern Phelps County there.
So this is moving through Rolla. I have not seen anything in the last couple of minutes, but we're just going to assume this is on the ground. It's dark, tons of rain with this, lots of wind, something you don't want to be out observing. If you want to go over to Links 1, I've got an area where we can look at storm shelters. If you're in your home, you're getting this warning currently. You want to be in your safe place. If you're in this tornado warning, you want to be in the interior of your home, away from windows, closet or a bathroom or a basement. You want to seek shelter immediately if you are in this confirmed tornado warning. So this is for portions of Phelps and Pulaski. We'll go back out to our radar here on Links 1, and we're taking a look at that threat for a tornado. So I've got our wind speed and direction on. We'll go back out to our Springfield radar, looking at a couple of different things here just to show you where the best area of rotation is. We might need to switch over to St. Louis just to get a closer look. That rotation still very healthy, moving just to the north of Flag Spring. Right now it's right around North Highway 68 and County Road 433. So we're going to continue tracking this as it moves to the northeast at around 60 miles per hour. So not a lot of time to take shelter as this moves through. So it's something that you're going to take shelter immediately as this continues to work its way to the northeast. If you are in portions of southern Marys County, this is going to be working in your direction. As John mentioned, potentially southern Gasconade if this lifts a little bit more northeast, north of Cuba, if that takes more of a northeasterly path, which it kind of has. You'll see it's now off to the north and east of Rolla. So Rolla now out of the threat of a tornado. We did have some reports of potentially a confirmed tornado on the ground there. We saw a report of a roof off a house in Rolla. Again, the Rolla is in the clear from that immediate rotation. That tornado warning will continue for the next 15 minutes, so I would just stay put until that warning expires. But now the immediate threat is working its way to the northeast in southern Marys County and northern Phelps. Take a closer look. This is right along a county road, looks like County Road 1050, and the intersection of County Road 1050 and this road, it's County Road 1050 and 1180, State Route EE, excuse me, and this will continue to work its way quickly to the northeast. We have that rotation that's showing up on radar. So it's where this red and green are meeting together, the green indicating where the winds are going towards the radar and red away from the radar. So we're going to take another look at our radar. looks kind of messy, and that just means this is wrapped in rain, likely not going to see much of anything there. So do not try to observe this as it moves through. It's dark now. Very strong very heavy rain, strong winds as this lifts to the northeast. So let's go back over to our shear product. This will help us pick this out and give us a look at the track. So I do want to put a track right on that center of the rotation. It's now moving quickly out of the Rolla area. Just look how fast that has moved out of Rolla. It's now tracking up towards Sullivan. So that's going to be up towards Sullivan area, south of Owensville. I think this is going to stay south of Owensville. You're not in a tornado warning in southern Gasconade, but northern Phelps and portions of far eastern Marys County now still in a confirmed tornado warning until 8:15. So we have a couple more minutes to keep eyes on this. This is the only tornado warning that we currently have. I want to go back out to ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Sean Ross. What do you have for us, Sean?
Well, I just want to ask, did we talk about the oak trees that have been left in the wake of this?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about a report. This is location-wise, looks like it is just on the northeast side.
We issued another tornado warning.
Northeast side of Rolla. Okay.
Southern Phelps, but go ahead. I'll get the details.
Okay, yeah, there is a new tornado. Let's go ahead and pop this up so folks can see it. Let's go ahead and just show it on links 2, if you don't mind. Just show it up. We've got new tornado warning. This one radar indicated for the southern portions of Phelps County. This is until 8:30. So if you're south of Rolla now, if you're, again, we were talking about north of Rolla and Rolla proper. Now this is missing Rolla.
We got another one. Sorry
to the south.
We've got Gasconade.
Another one. Okay, Seton Winkler, you're in this next. That's your next. You need to be in your safe place. Let's bounce to the north. Jess, you take over whenever you want.
Okay.
But if you want, I'll go ahead and I'll cover this until, okay, so the Gasconade County storm is the continuation of our Marys and Phelps Northern County rotation. So again, we're still tracking this confirmed tornado. There's a confirmed tornado warning currently in effect for Phelps County and the very corner here of Marys County. Now, if you're in Marys County, most of you are clear of this. This looks like it's primarily just in the very northern panhandle near Royal of Phelps County. Now, that new tornado warning that just mentioned, this is the continuation of this to the north and the east. Right now, it's a red box. That means radar indicated. We're not carrying forward the confirmed tornado warning. That means that we're no longer certain this is on the ground. However, what I want to point out is what I originally kind of flagged Jess for here a second ago. I wanted to speak about the report that we had from the northeast side of Rolla that says, and I quote here, many large oak trees down, old and possible new gutters have been ripped off homes. Flying debris is very, very heavy. That tells me we're talking about a powerful storm and could very well be a strong tornado there, at least that rolled through Rolla. We'll be waiting on some more confirmation of that, but we had a confirmed tornado. A firefighter, I should say, gave us visual report of this in southeast Rolla as this was moving through. And again, this moves at about 70 miles per hour, and this is going to quickly move into southern Gasconade County. So if you're in Owensville, Jess just mentioned this looks like it's going to stay south of you, and that's exactly what the new warning does. It keeps us south of you. This is mainly going to track through places maybe near Jake Prairie. I know that's just outside of mid-Missouri, but maybe you pick us up. Maybe you're still watching. Redbird, Arthur Spring Ford, Glazer Ford, Oak Hill. These are areas that are in the path of this tornado warning, and you need to take shelter. Again, we've had a history of this storm producing a tornado that produced damage. Again, the quote being there, many large oak trees. And again, we're at a time of the year where trees are not leafed out. There's not leaves on these trees to catch wind. So that's another level of impressiveness with that report. So just take this seriously. Again, a tornado warning until 8:45 for southern Gasconade County.
Thank you. I'm continuing to look at some of these reports. It looks like we had another report of trees and power lines down in Rolla. Looks like some house damage too. This is coming from emergency management in Rolla. So this is going to be tough to see tonight just with all the rain. Let me clear that off really quick. It's going to be tough to see with all the rain. So anything that's coming in is looking like it's going to be somewhat significant with this storm that went through Rolla. I'm still not seeing any more threat in Rolla. We're still under that tornado warning for the next 4 minutes in the city of Rolla. You're still going to have some very heavy rainfall, especially on the southern side. very far southern Phelps County, very heavy rainfall. We also have another tornado warning that is in effect there until 8:45 for southern Phelps, and actually that's actually 8:30, excuse me, 8:30 for southern Phelps County. This is for another cell that's just off to the south of the one that we've been tracking with the damage report. So let me try to look at, it's tough as we're getting closer to St. Louis radar here. It looks like that's where that rotation is. It looks like it might stay just to the south of the county line, but it's going to be tracking up into very far southern Phelps County, Seaton and Winkler in line for that one. It looks like we're seeing a pretty good rotation signature there on storm relative velocity, so I do want to track that. If I zoom out a little bit, we'll put a track on that as it moves northeast. That's going to be moving out of our viewing area, but up towards Steelville here as that one moves through. So likely not going to have as much of a threat with that one, but I still want to watch this one here that is moving into southern Gasconade County. This warning goes until 8:45. Let's look at the shear on that one. It looks like that has weakened just a little bit too, which is always encouraging to see, but I do want to take a track of that. We have to zoom out just because of how quickly these are moving. Moving northeast around 60 to 70 miles per hour. We'll go 65, happy medium. This is going to be moving into southern Gasconade County here in the next few minutes, so likely exiting by 8:30, but see the timeline on here? It's starting to include some of the St. Louis metro, so starting to see that threat working its way east, but we're still going to be watching it here as it moves into Gasconade County. Certainly some very heavy rainfall as these storms work their way through. We've also been seeing, we're getting lots of pictures of hail as these storms work their way through, up to at least quarter size. Seeing some pictures of these particular storms with larger hail up to golf balls. So hail, just kind of an attendant threat with these, but still nonetheless something we'll have to look out for. Seeing some very heavy rainfall just to the south of Owensville. We'll take a look at our severe threats. This can show you kind of what we're keeping an eye on tonight. Still looking at a strong hail core in that storm that's working through southern Phelps, and possibly seeing some radar indicated reports of up to 3-inch hail in that cell. Back up to the north, the one we were tracking into southern Gasconade, that could potentially have some large hail as well, possibly seeing up to about maybe quarter size with that one. Still seeing that rotational signature there. We'll get a little closer. As close as we can get, it's showing the red here on the map. That is just to the south of Royal, to the southwest of Royal. This is all tracking northeast. So we're going to be out of the woods here with this particular cell here very soon, but we're still going to be watching it as this warning is in effect until 8:45. So a good 30 minutes or so as we continue to track these storms. So a lot to watch here, especially with the storms that are tracking along I-44. We're going to be watching those very closely as we still have that threat for our southern counties. I want to go back out to our Springfield radar so we can take a close look at those. If it'll let me clear this off, that might help. Our tornado watch in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. Sometimes the computer doesn't like me, but we're going to go with it anyway. Here, let's go back out to the radar. You can see that parade of storms just kind of filtering over the same spot. So if you're in Phelps and Pulaski counties, you're kind of in the clear for now, but don't let your guard down. I'm still tracking some strong to severe storms still well out to the south and west in places that have already been impacted by some severe weather. So don't go to bed until this all clears to the east tonight. Still have a tornado warning that's in effect for southern Gasconade counties and southeastern Phelps County. That one goes until 8:30. This one goes until 8:45. Then back up to the north, still tracking a severe storm that's working its way through Gasconade County right now. That line there that's just approaching Herman, this is quickly moving to the east-northeast at around 60 miles per hour. We'll take that out just a little bit so we can get some towns in there. Hopefully it'll pick up some Gasconade County locations. Approaching Herman here in less than 10 minutes. Owensville next few minutes. New Florence by 8:34. John, what do you got?
Yeah, I just wanted to issue a correction. Earlier I said the many large oak trees down, that I did get conflated with earlier non-thunderstorm winds. That's the intensity of winds we've had today. But to that point, I do need to add that tornado report that we did see near Rolla, while we may not have had those large oak trees a part of that report, I do want to say they had a roof off a house. That was from 7:50, and that matches the time. The previous tree report was from earlier in the evening, about 5 p.m. So I want to be accurate. I want to clarify that.
Thank you.
Still doing damage, and of course, still having the potential for that as it continues to move to the northeast.
We start looking at a couple of areas of rotation here. It looks like that one in southern Phelps has weakened just a little bit. Still there, working up towards Cuba and Sullivan, so that's working out of our viewing area. As we go back up to the north, I want to go over to our St. Louis radar again so we can look at that velocity, that wind speed. Storm relative velocity might give us a better picture. Still looking at some rotation.
Is this a new tornado warning?
To
the north of
we're
Owensville.
Looking, yep, I see it right there. So a new tornado warning that was just issued for Gasconade County. That goes until 9 o'clock. It's for this area of rotation. I'm glad I had that velocity up so you can kind of see that pop up in real time. Smaller area of rotation, but it's south of Highway 50, just near Old Woolham and north of Owensville. So this is going to be tracking northeast. Rosebud, looks like you are in the southern tornado warning. Owensville, you're kind of in between, but since you're in between both of those storms, might be a good idea just to go to your safe place just in case. It's not going to be a long time. John, what do you have?
55 miles per hour is the track on this.
Okay, so it's a little bit slower, but still moving at fairly quick speeds. We're going to put a track on that area of rotation. Again, this is a tornado warning that was just issued within the last 30 seconds or so for Gasconade County. This is going to be moving up towards New Haven. Actually, I'm going to clear this off so we get a better track on that rotation area. This is going to be moving out fairly quickly, so I still think our severe weather threat's going to be ending soon. This is moving at around 55 miles per hour, so that's going to put it up in Warren County, up in Truesdale by around 9 o'clock. So it's not going to last long. This is moving through quickly. If you're in central Gasconade County, you want to be in your safe place. This does not include Herman. But that area of rotation is just to the north of Owensville. South of Highway 50, it looks like it's likely going to cross Highway 50 here in the next few minutes, just south of Cave Hill. And again, this is where the area of rotation is. Let me take that off here so we can look at that. Look at our wind shear, kind of pick that out. At least some weak rotation here as this works its way up towards New Haven. Again, this is a tornado warning here for this area of rotation that's working just to the north of Owensville. Owensville, you're kind of in between both of these warnings. It's probably a little scary to see this, so I would just want to stay in your safe place. You're in between both of these areas of rotation. The one to your south will likely skirt just south of you, and the one to the north is likely not going to impact you. But if you are in Herman, you're also not in the tornado warning. Still have some strong storms working its way through. This area of rotation will likely stay to your south as well. So this is going to cross up the Missouri River here, up into Warren County here within the next half an hour or so. So a tornado warning in effect until 9 o'clock, although the threat likely will not last until 9 o'clock in Gasconade County. Back to the south, we have southern Gasconade County also in a tornado warning. This is south of Owensville. This area of rotation is also working its way northeast at around 55 to 60 miles per hour. All of these working their way out. Off to the south, I want to take a look at that one cell that's moving out of Phelps, so I'm not as concerned if you're in Phelps County at this point. Still under a severe thunderstorm warning. That's in effect until 8:45, so another 25 minutes on that. If we go back out to the radar, this will show you where we have those strong winds and heavy rain really coming down there just to the east of Rolla. And then back up to the north, you can kind of see that snaky look. It's not really a professional term, but that snaky look showing us where we have that wind rotation there, that inflow really coming into that storm with some better energy on the storm that's moving through central Gasconade counties. Looks like that new scan might see a little bit lower rotation. We'll go back out to that and just get a picture of that. So it doesn't look as promising. It's still there, but I'm not seeing anything as tight as what we were seeing down towards Rolla where we had some of those confirmed damage reports, John.
Yeah, it doesn't look as good. Honestly, I was trying to investigate another little area. If we want to hop to links too, I can kind of show you real quick. I was just trying to investigate this just to see if this is something. Nice little kind of hook there towards southern, let's see, Gasconade County. But again, I don't know that that's much of anything anymore at this point. Let's go back to storm relative and yeah, maybe some very broad rotation. I mean, that seems the way things are trending. Very messy. Of course, we have that new area of rotation in central Gasconade County. Let's go ahead and go back to that. This kind of shows us the shape when we look at our shear product that we want to see. Not a lot of strong shear. It's all weak. It's all green. That green color indicating it's weak, but it is kind of that shape we're looking for. Not much of anything discernible really on the shear product, at least with that southern Gasconade storm. let's go back to our velocity, storm relative velocity. And yeah, it's kind of picking up there. Again, we'll go ahead and check out some of the communities here that might not show up in our track. Sometimes our track doesn't pick up every community out ahead. So if you're in Drake and Beaumont, you are in this tornado warning. Be in your safe place. That again is central Gasconade County, south of Herman, and to the near the Cave Hill to Drake to Beaumont area, central to central eastern Gasconade County. And then again, this continues out of mid-Missouri into Franklin County. But again, we will be mostly concerned with our communities here in mid-Missouri. Let's go to the south again, get an update on some of the communities that might be out ahead of this center of rotation. This might be close enough to T, I believe, if you pronounce it that way. T, Bem, this is close to you. You need to be in your safe place. This looks near Oak Hill to north of Oak Hill. So if you kind of triangulate the area in between Bem, T, and Oak Hill in rural Gasconade, rural southeast Gasconade County, you need to be in your safe place if you're in this part of the neighborhood. This will be heading off towards Champion City into rural Franklin County as well. You go out in this direction, this continues. We'll have two areas of rotation we're watching coming out of Gasconade County. So for whatever reason you pick us up in that area, you have storms coming at you there in two storms in Franklin County coming out of Gasconade County here in mid-Missouri. Again, this is, I think, the best looking little area of rotation. Of course, both of them looking very broad, I think, at this point, Jess.
Yeah, we've got 3 different tornado warnings in the vicinity. So
yes.
It looks like this is all going to be pressing quickly to the east. So our severe weather threat's likely going to be over in the next half an hour or so. But as John mentioned, we have a couple of areas that we're watching. So if we take a look back at Links 1, we have those 3 flashing red boxes. Those are all different tornado warnings. So the first one is the one we've been talking about that was just issued until 9 o'clock. That's our Gasconade County storm. It's looking a little clearer as we get closer to the radar, really picking out where we have some of that heavy rainfall and where we have that potential for tornadoes. So I do want to look back at this shear, and we're still seeing that area of rotation there. We'll circle it as that moves out of the Drake area north of Girard. Again, Owensville, you're not in the threat. Looks like you just got a new scan. Maybe even some more rotation off to the south. Our secondary warning that's off to the south in portions of southern Gasconade County, still seeing at least some broad rotation there in the circled area. We'll get a little closer. We can take a look at some of those communities that are going to be impacted, as John was mentioning, between Bem and T, and then south of Owensville, and then up here to the north, up towards Drake. This is tracking just along Highway 50. So crossing Highway 50 there off to the east of Drake. This is going to be tracking up towards Stony Hill and Beaumont, Swiss as well, all in Gasconade County, eventually tracking quickly towards New Haven. So we have 3 tornado warnings. The one coming out of Phelps County is now moving up towards Cuba and Steelville. A tornado warning in effect for Crawford County, just outside of our mid-Missouri viewing area. So we can rest easy in the next half an hour or so. Things are going to start calming down for mid-Missouri, but start ramping up for the St. Louis area. So here's a look at the bigger picture. We'll put a loop on that of just the last hour. Look how quickly all of these storms have worked their way off to the north and east. So very fast-moving storms as we've been tracking tonight with meteorologist Chance Gotch. He's given us some pictures of what these storms have looked like with a lot of heavy rain and strong winds, even places where we haven't had tornado warnings. So quickly seeing forward advancement of these. If you have any family in the St. Louis area, give them a heads up. This is going to be moving in less than an hour. This whole line of individual storms will have the threat of producing tornadoes as it works its way east. Already starting to see the back edge of these, the back edge of the tornado watch get canceled. So if you're west of Columbia, the threat has come to an end. But I'm tracking a couple more strong storms off to the south and west. So we'll watch those closely as they're going to be riding up along the I-44 corridor. They are under severe thunderstorm warnings right now. So we'll be watching it in Phelps County, also watching for any damage reports that might be coming out, specifically within Pulaski and Phelps County from that radar confirmed tornado. We also had that report of a confirmed tornado in the city of Rolla. Again, we're still on the air because we have a couple of tornado warnings that are still in effect. The one that's moving through central Gasconade is the main concern now. It's just to the south of Herman. You're getting some very heavy rainfall in Herman right now. This one is continuing to work its way out, but central Gasconade, you are definitely getting pelted with some heavy rainfall and possibly some hail as well. Let's go look at the hail potential in that cell. Anywhere you're seeing purple on the map here is indicating where our radar is showing where we could have some hail, up to maybe penny size there in that storm. We'll clear that off and go back off to the south. Off to the south, and a couple of these cells that are working through that we've been tracking, slightly larger hail possible moving out of that storm that's moving to the south of Cuba, possibly quarter-size hail, maybe $50, that cell that's moving out of central or southern Gasconade County. So certainly some hail threats, but sort of a secondary threat to the wind and the rain, as well as the tornado potential in these. So some of the storms that came through earlier through Jefferson City gave us a wind report there at Jefferson City Airport. These clusters particularly gave us a report of up to almost 75 miles per hour. So certainly packing a punch. Overall, the threat for now, though, starting to decrease. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that's still in effect for Phelps County until 9 o'clock tonight. Back out, and we go back up to our tornado warnings. So the southern storm looks like the area of rotation is going to be moving out very quickly here. I'm not as concerned. Looks like we went on a little ride there. We'll go back out to get centered there out over Gasconade County. Looks like that shear is now crossing the border out of Gasconade into Franklin. So that is good news, but we're still watching areas just south of Gerald. Looks like they just trimmed the tornado warning back a little bit. So we're mainly concerned about this area of rotation that is approaching New Haven. We'll get a little bit closer. This is just to the north of Whiffenburg and Beaumont. So between Whiffenburg and Beaumont, approaching the Gasconade County line, south of Stony Hill is where we're seeing that area rotation. Again, this is tracking to the north and east at around 55 miles per hour. So if you know anyone right there along the Missouri River in Franklin County, this is heading towards New Haven and will eventually work its way up towards Warrenton into Warren County. Herman also seeing some strong winds and heavy rain now, but you are not currently in the tornado warning. So these will continue. This one actually continues until 9. The southern storm continues until 8:45. So we have a little bit of a ways to go, but the threat overall is going to continue decreasing. John, are you seeing any reports from Springfield or St. Louis on either of these?
The last report I saw was that this storm in southern Phelps County, or I guess I should say the southeast corner, most southeast corner of Phelps County, that rotation looked pretty good. And still does look decent, especially from the Springfield radar, but that's now out of here. Now St. Louis turning attention to storms that are just outside of Gasconade. I believe this one in Franklin County. Yeah, that's the latest update. The one they're moving south of Gerald and Leslie. And that'll be out of mid-Missouri. So yeah, this one, I think we're still on maintenance mode here with this one in central Gasconade. Still, again, as Jess mentioned, strong signs of shear there, at least on our in-house shear product. And we'll go ahead and show you that here again. It really paints the picture. And you can see it here. I'll circle it for you, or I'll highlight it for you. This little line, when we see it make this kind of dog leg shape, this curly Q shape, somewhere in the middle of it, this is kind of where we expect to see that best rotation and the center of that rotating storm, and if we had a tornado, where it'd be. So again, this is just about, it looks like, almost out of Gasconade County. If you're in Herman and you're watching this, again, remember, this is not you. This is not you. This is south of you. This is north of Owensville. So again, this is the rural area there near Stony Hill. This is right over Stony Hill. If you're in Stony Hill, you need to be in your safe place. No longer do you want to be out of your safe place. You want to be in a basement if you can be in the centermost room of your home if you don't have a basement. And again, it's too late to go anywhere else. So certainly get to your safe place. The good news is, though, we don't have a confirmation of a tornado. Right now, this is radar indicated. And this is moving out of mid-Missouri. This will be traveling towards New Haven. So if you have friends or family in that direction, go ahead and give them the heads up. This is moving in their path. Now we look to the south. Again, we kind of highlight these areas of rotation, and they pop out really easily on the shear product. And the main area of concern now out of mid-Missouri and southern Gasconade County. Let's go ahead and highlight storm relative velocity. And again, there's two areas we're mainly concerned with, and it'd be this one here and this one to the north and east of Sullivan. And that one's well out of mid-Missouri. This one just about out of the Rosebud region here locally. So it looks like the one we're really focused on is going to be near Stony Hill in central Gasconade County. And again, give us about 5-10 minutes and that will likely be out of mid-Missouri. We look to the north, we've got still a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Montgomery, Gasconade, Marys, and Phelps, and even Pulaski as well. And if we pull up radar, we can see some strong thunderstorms here in these directions as well, but there are no concerns for tornadoes. So we are focusing on this central Gasconade storm. And Jess, I really think this is the last thing that's kind of barring us from getting folks back to normal here.
I think so too. I think we're just going to be a couple more minutes, get that out of central Gasconade. Even the storms that are back out to the south of Lebanon, south of Rolla, don't look super impressive right now. Let's go over to our St. Louis radar. You can really see just where the most prolific storms are, and those are moving towards St. Louis. So I'm not as concerned about the storms south of Waynesville currently. We'll keep an eye on them, but I can say if you're in Columbia, Jefferson City, Moberly, Sedalia, Camdenton, we're all in good shape. You're severe clear for the rest of tonight, so you can rest easy. If you know anyone in St. Louis area, things are just heating up there. So unfortunately, things are going to get worse off to our east, but for us here in mid-Missouri, things are starting to clear out a little bit. You'll even see the tornado watch has been canceled for all of our National Weather Service Kansas City counties. So if you're up towards Moberly, Cooper County, Boonville, Sedalia, Marshall, Sheraton County, not in a tornado watch anymore. The watch still continues for our eastern counties, but as we've been talking about, the wide view just shows most of those storms are working their way out. I do want to kind of take a tour of some of our cameras. This will kind of give you a picture of what the conditions are like post-storm. Things have quieted down. It's clear in Sedalia. We're down to 61, so we have cooled off a little bit. Not a dramatic cool down over the weekend, at least until Sunday. We'll see a secondary cold front that comes through. Let's look at Jefferson City. Temperatures perhaps very similar, still around 60 degrees. We're still seeing some showers working their way out. Check out that. Maximum wind speed, 74 miles per hour. So some strong winds with those severe storms that came through earlier. If we go back out to Columbia, we'll look right here at our studio. Things have certainly calmed down compared to what we had earlier. We're down to 58, a little bit chillier. Columbia Airport, max speed of about 56 miles per hour. And I'm going to guess those were with the winds earlier today. We saw some really strong winds, anywhere from around 55 to 60 miles per hour with the non-thunderstorm gusts earlier this afternoon. At the Lake of the Ozarks, things have quieted down as well. Temperatures have dropped off there. Not seeing much rain left over, but certainly cooler temperatures, down to about 59 now. And wind speeds got up to almost 50 miles per hour there today. So not quite as breezy, but we still saw all of those fire weather issues that we had earlier this afternoon with fires. Now let's go back out to the radar. We are still on with you tonight because we still have a couple of tornado warnings. It looks like the area of interest here in central Gasconade County has kind of moved out. So I'm thinking we're going to be okay to send everyone back to programming here. I do want to look back out at the velocity really quick, though. Let's go back over to St. Louis radar velocity. Maybe storm relative, give a better view. Potentially still seeing that rotation now, moving out of Gasconade County into Franklin. So I can safely say we are severe clear from any tornado warnings or tornado threats here in mid-Missouri. We still have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings. I'll just show you the plain old radar to show you where we have the strongest storms currently. Still have ongoing rain across much of Callaway and Montgomery counties. The tornadic threat now pressing east, getting closer to St. Louis and along I-44. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings still in effect for Phelps County. That goes until 8:45. So the next 10 minutes or so, and then for portions of Gasconade County, that goes until 8:45 as well. So a couple more minutes, at least 10 more minutes on our severe thunderstorm warnings. Tornadic threat now exiting mid-Missouri, so I feel comfortable at this time to send us back to programming. Keep in mind we have basketball on Fox, so you won't see us until after that's over on Fox 22, but we will have the latest forecast and any reports on damage coming up tonight on ABC 17 News at 10 on KMIZ.
This has been an ABC 17 Storm Track Weather Alert Day update.